coffee.
Can I get a check on my hair, Brandon? Okay. That's so good. Okay. I just have to keep a check on it. Okay.
Alright, Ashley, did you get your jewel orders out today?
Way to trigger me. Let me tell you.
I tried to fix it. The printer is working.
Oh, the printer is
it's not her.
It is not me.
I knew it was, but just in case, we just...
Okay, look here.
Check. Sanity check.
No, I had... The fact that Danny had to come over to check this printer. I feel like a very stable person.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I mostly don't, like, lose my mind. But I legit, if you two would have just bought me out yesterday over text message, I would have, just to avoided this printer. Situation.
I don't fault you for that. I honestly would have been in the same situation. I don't think I've ever met a printer that works. Like, do you ever remember working corporate?
And if it does, you need to replace the ink every...
Yeah.
Every time you print
Corporately,
a
there
page.
was always somebody coming in to fix the printer. Like,
no, that's true. That's true. And then, like, I remember when I used to do, like a lot of temp work and I was, like, an assistant. Like, if, like, you had the magic touch with the printer, you basically had, like, job security.
No, this is true.
Job security. Because
we can't get rid of her. She knows how to use the Xerox.
No, she knows how to fix it.
That's so funny.
Because, again, I've never... To your point, I've never not had an issue with the
You know,
printer.
I was always going through jobs of, like, trying to look really, really pretty as job security. But you figured
That
out...
doesn't make any sense.
You figured out how to fix a printer.
We're going to keep you forever. We actually can't let her go because then, like, somebody, like, we won't know
What would we do?
We can't print.
Yep.
I'm sure we have things like that in amongst this team of like...
Oh, what
Ashley
is our...
can't leave because...
Oh, yeah. What is our secret job security?
Well, Danny does all the computer stuff.
I mean, y'all would be absolutely...
We would be lost.
Just quietly.
We would be so lost.
I should make a manual in case I die. But
You really should. I mean, we really probably do need some SO. I mean, like on a couple podcasts ago, we talked about the finances. In all fairness, the fact that we are running the way we are without SOPs is actually
I don't have time to write SOPs.
just as ludicrous.
Actually, we do have some.
We have a few.
Anything I have handed over to you or Abby has an SOP most of the time.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
But in the grand scope of how everything functions, I think that there are, like, there's softwares that now it just, like, creepy. It just AI, like, watches you do whatever and it writes the SOP.
That'd be smart.
Yeah. It tracks whatever it is that you're clicking on.
Yeah.
And all the things, and then it just, like, basically, like, screen records what it is that you're doing, and then it writes the SOP.
It's kind of like when you go shopping at Zara and they have this new thing where you put all the clothes that you're buying on this, like, thing. And it just knows.
Oh, yeah.
It
Well,
knows
you know,
exactly.
They've been doing that
Club
at the library for a while.
I haven't really stepped in one of those in a long time.
No, and I've seen it at convenience stores, yeah. And I was like, oh, this is magic. But no,
they do it at Sam's Club.
It just, it can just
it
just
automatically
beams through and finds the barcodes on everything.
Yeah, it is magic, though.
That actually makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Oh.
Does Apple
You know
make
what?
printers?
No.
Because, like...
Do they not? Because you're like, I would 100%
No,
pay
there's no
for
Apple
an
printer.
But here's
Apple
the
label
thing.
printer.
All of my computers prior to an Apple computer were not great. They were always breaking. They never lasted longer than a year. It could have been user error. I will take accountability for that.
Yeah.
But
I
give me
still hate this
a
print.
Mac computer.
I've never had a problem with my Mac.
Never had a problem. If there's a problem, I was the problem.
That is true.
The Mac
That
has
is
a lot of capacity for people who do not know how to use computers.
They do need to make a printer.
Yes.
They need to make
That
a
thing
label
will be
printer.
that thing will be unbreakable.
That thing would be so super, like, synced to my phone and computer. I wouldn't even be having any of this.
Yeah, it would be super synced. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Apple, since Steve Jobs left, they have yet to come out with something that is like, oh, this is
a
change
printer
the
would
way
change
things
my life.
work.
Okay, maybe it's the printer.
Could they still?
Or maybe-
What did Mishi say? She's like, we've supposedly landed on the moon, but yet we can't get
You
a printer
said that.
Yeah, it was you.
You said that yesterday.
No, but she said it before. She said something before like this. She's like, you cannot tell me and all these things that we've done, blah, blah, blah.
She
like,
said it first to you, but you said to me, and then you were like, and I was like, damn, that was funny. And you were like, but I'm pretty sure they didn't go to the moon.
No, I'm pretty sure they did. First
She's
off,
like, I'm pretty convinced they didn't.
I am actually more and more convinced that we never went to the moon in the first place.
Okay.
I'm about to open up a big can. Brandon, what do you think? Do you think that we've ever made it to the moon? He doesn't think so either. I think that we actually have a whole generation that is starting to question things that our boomer parents would have never questioned ever in their entire life.
You mean the whole diet industry?
Yes.
Yeah.
But, you know, so you like think about this, like we've never been back to the moon until whatever. And like it is on tape them saying they don't have the tapes of us landing on the moon because they recorded over it.
Like they recorded someone's like dance recital over it.
Oh.
Yeah. Meaning that like what do you mean you recorded over the moon landing that supposedly happened? Like, oh yeah, like, oh, we just recorded an exercise over it.
Yeah. And Ashley was saying that sometimes the astronauts talk as they speak as if it hasn't happened.
Yes, like
they're like, one day we'll get to the moon.
yeah, you know, yeah, no,
They slip up.
no. There are multiple interviews of people who work at NASA that have been like, one day we'll be able to leave like the low Earth orbital, like whatever, and I'm like, well, supposedly we have whenever we went to the moon. If like we were making like another moon shot, wouldn't there be way more publicity going on? I feel like I found out the day after through a couple of posts on like I mean like
no, dude. I think we don't care about anything that's not happening within our own life.
Yeah, I think that's more what it is because Dave was very aware of it. Yeah.
No, I really think that.
No. I mean, but like I just feel like there would be more noise about it.
There probably was. We're just not.
We're
we
literally
don't care.
not looking at the news.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, no, that's true because I like I've been off news for like 10 years.
This is us really doing like a bro podcast right now.
Yeah.
About the moon.
I'm thinking that anyone cares about our opinion on it.
Yeah.
No, but I'm just saying.
No, but you're right.
I'm just
And
saying.
like, but it's also solid evidence. If we cannot get a Bluetooth printer to work, there's just no way.
Yikes! Bringing it back to like
I'm telling you guys, that printer sent me. That printer.
there are just some limitations of this human existence.
That printer sent me.
And I was like, just regular print it and then duct tape the label on. But she's like, no.
It
has to be pretty.
It has to
Which
be
is fair.
pretty. Like, could you imagine if you got a package and it looked like somebody...
We're very particular about it.
Somebody cut out the shipping and then, like, had to mass, like, multiple strands tape
No, I
it on
hear
there. It's like
you.
1, 2, 3, 4.
No, I hear you.
So everybody in today's shipping can't happen until the new printer that's
Monday.
That the new printer is gonna come and send me to a whole other
In the
level of
early
insanity.
HA Society days, right? Every client that recovered, we would send them a mug. I still have this mug. Would love to bring it back.
We should bring something like that back.
You were doing the cup, but
There's just a lot of logistics.
Well,
This is
you
what
know, like
happens.
some people just don't enjoy the cup as much as I thought they would.
yeah, they want a drinking cup. The mug. Everyone loves the mug. Like people
That's
love the
fair.
mug so much that like one time a girl accidentally broke her mug and she must have been really upset, and so her like sister-in-law or something emailed me and asked to buy a new one off me. Because they earn this mug. So we have this mug. It's I'll put a picture up on the thing. It just says I got my period on the mug. And,
Like that it was like let it be known or
and
something.
then under it says let it be known. And that everyone gets this mug, drink it every time you get your period, use it anytime you want, who cares? But this mug symbolizes your participation in the recovery process and successfully reaching it. And so we would send it. But we were super new. We had no budget. It was probably like the one expense on that spreadsheet we were talking about on the show the other day.
The only one that I had to keep track of until it grew.
We've got these mugs, and I would ship them out every time a client recovered. But I just like, sometimes I would just like reuse an old like Amazon.
That is so not okay.
It was so rough.
That is rough.
Wait,
Well, they didn't pay for it.
but where the business was at that time, it made sense.
yeah.
No, but this is also Danny.
I was just like
To a
making
T.
it. I was like, but
But she was also, I mean, she still is.
our
the
members
best.
also just like knew. It was like sending a gift to a friend. At
Yeah,
that, you
that's
know?
what I'm saying. That's where the business was at the time, and I think it still is. We're very like,
But it
close
is
with our
just funny
clients.
that like I would never do that now.
No!
But, yeah, at the time it was basically just like a reused. But I'm also very like waste conscious. So
Yes.
it just
You
was a
used to be
whole-
It's on
like a little
brand.
bit- yeah,
It's
yeah.
on brand.
Well, it was very Danny brand.
You can buy the mug still, but I just don't send it to everyone
like
Yeah.
we
now
used
the way
to.
I could. Anyway,
Maybe we can, because I thought everyone would be pumped about a period cup because they're like so expensive. Not pumped.
no, yeah, they want.
I think they're a little freaked out.
That's fine. They're probably just not ready just to insert a cup up their vagina yet.
Me either.
but they're all ready to drink out of a mug
That's true.
and to let it be known.
Yeah.
Danny, what if you did some artwork on it? Come on.
No, it's great the way it is.
Yeah, I love that mug.
I feel like it looked so faded. Like the red was so faded, or maybe the one that I saw was so.
Maybe it was used.
Well, I've had that mug for years.
Oh, okay.
It's
Yeah.
been through the wash like any good mug.
Yeah.
All good mugs fade. You have to let us know if you want the mug.
Yeah.
Yeah, let us know
Put it in
if
the
you want
hands
us to
of the
bring back
people.
the mug. That if you get your period back and you're like,
Yeah.
You want the honorary mug that says "I did this."
yeah,
like
we'll let the
getting-
people vote because
getting
clearly,
like a Tough Mudder T-shirt or whatever. it
yeah,
is.
because clearly me sending you a period cup, I think y'all just were confused. They're like,
You're like, are there any directions with this?
I thought, but I was like, this is what Ashley believes, and you can use it at home, and you can use it every day, and then typically the people you live with or the person you live with,
it's like
knew
the
about it
only
too.
people know. Yeah,
and so just like you get to show them the mug.
Yeah.
and like.
okay. I'm.
It's like this physical validation, which the cup is like weird to show them, and
Yeah.
like it's in
Yeah, but every month you can go, I'm using my mug.
yeah.
And they'll
Well,
be
every
like,
time I
"Got
insert my
it."
cup, I'm like, look what we got. Like,
To who?
no, I don't know.
You're not showing anybody that.
No. I'm just saying. Like, I mean, it's just a whole thing.
We deserve a medal.
Fair. I mean, you're not wrong.
Maybe you can choose. Would
Maybe
you
we'll
like?
get it-
Would
yeah.
you like a?
And it's an in-home mug because you wouldn't go out with a Yeti that says that. You would only use this cup. at
Yeah,
home.
yeah. Maybe people can choose. Would you like a cup that you insert, or would you like a cup that you drink out of?
All right.
You tried.
I
It
got a
was great.
question.
Oh.
I've got a long question.
Okay. Buckle in, everybody.
Coffee here yet? What's going on? Alyssa. Hi, Danny. Firstly, discovering the HA Society has been a lifesaver for me, and I am so grateful for the knowledge you all share.
Oh.
The stories on the podcast have resonated so much with me and have truly been the validation I need to recover. I am in awe of how seen you make everyone feel, and it has inspired me greatly.
That is my goal in life.
And this is why your question gets answered, Alyssa. Okay. She prefaces, my apologies for how lengthy this email is. I
That's
did
fair.
my best to shorten it because time is so valuable, but I know context helps. I have contemplated coaching, but currently am seeking thoughts on my labs from your lens. Similar to the stories you have heard, the medical bills have accumulated from seeking answers. The adrenaline-fueled, high cortisol, foggy brain kept my wheels spinning until I was forced to rest. I will try to sum up as best I can my history. I was in outpatient ED treatment in my teenage years. I had a better relationship with exercise into adulthood and have always preferred eating mostly plant-based. I love running and began running half marathons a few years ago, and at some point it became too much without realizing it. I entered what I understand now as the tired but wired syndrome, where I thought I felt fine on little sleep, mostly caffeine, protein shakes, and hours of exercise daily. From what I can recall, I had bouts of irregular periods, but never a full stop until June 2024. Recently, I looked back at my visit with a gynecologist in December 2024 for missing periods and saw a diagnosis of hypothalamic amenorrhea. Genuinely, At the time, I only heard her tell me to eat more, reduce running, and take birth control. I was at my lowest weight then, which is possibly why it was the only time HA has been mentioned, although I understand now how it is not well known. I started the pill she took is called Junal.
Like the birth control pill?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I started Junal, reduced activity, gained weight, and had 2 withdrawal bleeds in late January and February 2025. The side effects caused me to stop taking it, and I did not have another cycle. Fast forward to November 2025, an urgent care visit prompted me to treat low iron, seeing a rheumatologist, scans. I thought I was treating anemia, extremely low ferritin, platelets. During this time period, I fully rested and increased my intake as I had some restored hunger cues. I had a short bleed about 6 weeks later. I thought after having that short bleed and more energy, I was fine to resume things. Although
What are things? But go ahead.
Yeah, back to her marathons and all that good stuff.
Oh, okay.
Although I resumed activity gradually, I had another crash in February and wondered about my missing period again. Research then led me to discovering HA, seeing it in my past record. I then stuck to recovery protocol and have had very emotional episodes and signs of hormones turning back on, but have not had a bleed since mid-December. I am wondering if having a setback caused me to go further into HA and a big swing in hormones that can possibly explain my current state. My reason for reaching out now is that lab work could read PCOS. I don't have any history of it. The long list of symptoms I had in the depths of HA are identical to all the research and stories I've listened to. I only started feeling my hormones turn back on and then had that short bleed after roughly 6 weeks when I was forced to stop exercise. Additionally, I had a normal pelvic CT scan in November 2025, so I presume imaging would have picked up other issues. I've educated myself so much, thanks to y'all's resources, that I am optimistic that I should be on the right track, but I'm seeking confidence in that. I have read about how PCOM can occur during HA recovery, and I'm curious how much you have come across this. Here are the labs. December 2024, so like a year prior, estradiol is less than 15, so undetectable. FSH is 3.6. Testosterone is 30. These were the only hormone tests I see that were gathered. I got labs done.
Which you can't even rule out.
Yeah.
PCOS. But
There was no LH there.
yeah. Okay.
I got labs done on March 2nd and just got the report. My estrogen was 58. My LH was 17.7. My FSH was 4.6. Testosterone 72. AMH
72?
AMH 10. Progesterone 77, but it's the OH progesterone. LCMS is 77. Cortisol 19. Also to note, A1C is 4.9. Insulin is 9.1. During this week, I had significant cervical mucus, hormonal things. I only started BBT last week, so I don't have history on that. My DEXA scan is pending. My creatine level is low. Seeing my estrogen has increased is encouraging and makes me not want to take medication. I understand the LH to FSH ratio, high AMH, high testosterone can present like PCOS labs, but I read about how these labs can present during a phase of HA recovery known as PCOM. I did not even book a follow-up because I don't want to invest further in case the doctor isn't familiar. I subscribe to the HA Society as my way to invest back in your resources, but I'm not sure if I could invest in coaching. Big apologies for how long this is. I am 32 years old. I'm 5 foot 5 inches, and my lowest weight was 108 pounds. I believe I am roughly 130 to 135 now. Again, my cycle stopped in June 2024, and since then I had 2 withdrawal bleeds on the birth control pill and 1 short bleed in December. Unbeknownst to me, it was just from doing HA recovery protocol. I have not had a bleed since December, but I'm hoping committing again for the past 1.5 months will get me there soon. The guidance and feedback I really need is, do you see this fluctuation in HA often, a PCOM state, and how can I best support recovery right now? I have made so much progress solo and have reached a point where I really need some validation on if this happens and where I go from here. Any insight you or your team have is more valuable to me than anything, and I appreciate you more than words can say. Have a great weekend.
Whoa.
Okay.
Ashley?
Oh, I mean, I have thoughts.
No.
but
I definitely have thoughts, but
I was like,
I
will
do
choose
think
to
it's
go
number one. Like, we're not your doctor. We're not going to tell you to not go back to your doctor, and you should definitely book a follow up because we are not your doctor. Nor, as thorough as this great context is, like, we would have to like book a consultation to get a better understanding of like your actual life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's just like the huge preference for everything. Don't worry. And we're doing coffee. Make sure he gets his. Okay.
Yeah, so even more, you would need even more.
Yeah, so technically I can't even really answer your question because this would require like a consultation. And because a consultation is more than just your cycle history. So by no means do you take this as a consultation. But to answer your question, we do cheers.
Oh, cute.
Look at us. We're so cute.
but like one of the things is that yes, so one thing that stood out to me was that her like LH is there, her like estrogen is improving. First off, we're seeing an improvement in labs 100%. So there's that. So like and just to validate her, because she did ask for validation, yes, we also see that your labs are improving. Your labs are not improving. You went from less than 15 to like 58 for your estrogen. With that also being said, it is not uncommon. It is not uncommon for us to see exactly what she's talking about, where it could look like PCOS is developing, but it really is just this rebound from being underfed. Yep. And Mishi actually has a couple of cases like this. So I'm going to let her actually share because this is not a consultation, nor can we give medical advice because we are not your doctor and you need to go back to your doctor. I would actually rather Mishi share just her 2 clients that presented this way and like the results, and because really I feel like this person is like, I need to know that there was somebody else just like this with these types of labs who has recovered in order to keep me going. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, a few things that I guess I just foundationally want to lay down is like, we really don't know what's possible for your body until the foundations are in place. And based
That's
on
so true.
The history of kind of the back and forth in and out of HA and some other things that she had shared.
Yeah, like the marathon
stuff. Just there's some things in there that as a practitioner and a coach, I would love to sit down and peel the onion layers back and to get more information on, because I am almost certain there are potentially a lot of blind spots still happening. Even though, yes, improvements have been made. And I think there's still some more room for us to dig in and understand where, hey, maybe there's still some compensatory behaviors happening that we're just not aware of because we have just been participating into it for so long. So that's where I come back to, we don't know what's possible yet until the foundations for you are in place and we're consistent there. And so once that is in place, then we can start going in, and this is exactly what I did with my clients as well too. They worked with me for a really long time. I think it was a year that our relationship, we kept in touch and all those things. And we did have to go through every single thing that a person going through HA recovery has to do.
Yeah.
So we had to make sure that we were getting that person into a surplus. We had to make sure that they were eating frequently. We had to make sure that they were resting. We had to make sure that their chart was getting into like at least baseline temperatures, healthy range, producing cervical mucus and things like that. And then once their body came to kind of like a plateau, that's then where we were like, okay, let's go rerun labs. Let's look where everything's landing. Let's see where potentially your body needs a little bit of support. And then we put those support measures in place, and they kind of then found a little bit more balance back into life. And then period. Well, ovulation, then period. But
well, and to the fact is, like, I think with your clients, it just felt really tricky because it seemed to take longer. It seemed to take longer, and that can feel really unnerving if, like, you don't have coaching and you don't have somebody reminding you of what you've done, what you've tried, what we're doing, why this works, why this is not detrimental to your health, blah, 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 all these things. Yeah. I mean, I couldn't imagine being on a journey that long without a coach like helping me stay consistent, because I would have jumped ship.
Well, and I even as a coach, we needed each other to not jump ship, because there were times where
that's real.
That's so real. That is so real.
Where it's just like, you know, we start to lose, like,
we start to question.
We start to question.
Well, because like at the end, it was an abnormal journey.
Yeah, and it was rocking a lot of my beliefs. I was like, this is the way it should play out based on XYZ. And Ashley would always set me straight, and just being like, I don't know, you had your Ashley-isms.
That's why I deferred to her first.
Yeah, I was like, what? But, you know, like, I think it's one of those things where we have to remember that blood work is a snapshot.
Yeah.
In a healing journey.
Yeah. And things get messy before they get better.
And things get messy. We actually, and this is known, your thyroid will appear to get worse before it gets better in the HA journey. Meaning that you'll come to us and you'll have, like, a TSH of 1 or 2. And then, like, you'll heal. And then it, like, blows up. And then I had to go to someone who I, like, trusted with labs, and she was like, oh, no, this happens in a healing journey. Give it like 3 more months and it'll come back down.
Which makes sense when you think about how when the body is operating at 0 for so long, and then you give it fuel, and now it wants to turn on all of the very processes.
And then now it has to compensate.
And whose job is that?
The thyroid, yeah. And so like, a lot of people will be like, oh my gosh, I'm actually getting worse. Do you see my thyroid is getting worse? And then they swing so hard the other way, which then puts them so... And then now, like, we're back to ground zero because, you know, like, we got freaked out because we don't know what a healing journey looks like. Like, we don't know what to expect.
Because we're so in our masculine, and masculine wants things to be linear. I do this is a step process, and it's structured this way, and it happens this way. But healing is, like, very much like an art, and, like, it's
a dance for sure.
It is a dance.
It is a dance for sure. And then so I have personally seen multiple clients on my end, but then also on Mishi's end, where the LH will sit, and it's a really freaky range because it's that in-between range. It's like between 14 and 18.
You see it, like, pretty commonly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I remember I had one specific client, I think hers was at 15. It was like 15 and 4. 15 LH.
Yeah, that's what these 2 clients were, 17.
Yeah.
17.
So I think this is her was at 17 too.
So you're like, this is like that range where it's like, technically, if I was to look at this lab in isolation, yes, PCOS. But like, if you're having egg white cervical mucus and your LH is high, I think you're actually just having either a follicular wave or your body's trying to turn on. Like we're catching it in its massive effort to try, you know, because, you know, like, we do know that follicular waves are common. This is why you'll see different types of cervical mucus in a healing journey, and they'll be like, I don't know what I have. One day it's clear, the next day it's sticky, the other day it's creamy, and then it's back to clear, and then nothing happens, and it just goes away. And you know what I mean? And I remember feeling like that. But that's just because your estrogen's, like, actually all over the place. You know what I mean? It's coming up, it's coming down, and it's stable, and then it's poof. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it doesn't go from nothing to just on and working normally. The healing phase is, like, pretty messy, and the body's working really hard.
Yeah.
So you'll see, like, an overproduction of something,
or like an underproduction. And so this is why BBT charts in HA look psychotic. And this is why you're always on pins and needles thinking that you ovulated when really it was just an outlier. But it's because your BBT is so unstable, which is giving us an insight into your thyroid function. It's giving us an insight into your estrogen and all these things. And so to expect LH to not behave that way. It's a little wild, right? Like, no, we know that basal body temperature will do this. It'll be erratic until we get to a certain level of homeostasis with like your energy, your like energy intake, and then all of a sudden your BBT starts to like stabilize.
Yeah.
But for some reason, we don't think that happens with LH and FSH.
Any other area of the body.
Or any other part of the body. And I'm just like, this is why your estrogen, like, people will be like, oh, well, like, I went backwards. I was like, no, this is just a normal fluctuation of estrogen.
Yeah.
Like, if it was, like, 20 before, and then it was 30, and then it dropped down to 25, no, you didn't go backwards. Just today it's at 25. We think of it being like, well, like, if the light is on, once I turn the light on, it stays on. And we think that hormones do that. And like, they don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let alone in a healing journey. Now let's just add even more. And so, could it be PCOS? It could. It could. However, given the your like context, and that you've accidentally did an HA protocol before and you got your period back. And then you went back to marathon training. So then you went in a bigger, deeper hole, and now your body is a little bit more resistant.
Which she's asking, she's like wondering, is it my body being more resistant because I did this backtrack?
Yeah, well,
and it's like, actually, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, well, because
I think you're changing like your equilibrium every single time. Like your body, it knows and it remembers your patterns, and it's going to be like, okay, we've been here before, and it does become a little bit more resistant. And so, like, your body's basically putting you in your seat and telling you, like, no, we're not doing this anymore. Like, you're going to either start listening to me or some things are going to go wrong.
This is also why, like, when people are, like, you know, like, we always get the question, when can I start losing weight? I'm like, you need to leave your body alone for a year.
You will regret it.
Or else you
know
literally,
you need to earn the right to lose weight.
I just had a client come back to me because she said, well, my doctor said it was fine for me to lose weight. And so then she did. so then she did, and guess where her period is?
Elsewhere.
And so I said, in all due respect, I don't think your body cares what your doctor said. And your doctor doesn't get to determine this for you just because they wear a white coat and went to medical school.
And they also don't care.
Yeah, and I think they have a
bias. I was like, end of story. Your body was like, you did too much.
Yeah. I think these cases, like,
but these ones are tough. These ones
are tough, and I think that's why. And I think part of her question is like, do I need some sort of support and coaching? Like,
yes,
probably, because like you need somebody who's going to continuously validate you, like, hey,
or who has seen this seen the other side. Because like we were talking about this the other day.
Yeah,
we get to follow people all the way through, meaning that like your two clients, you've gotten to follow them all the way through.
Yeah.
All the way through. And that was tough.
Yeah, it was really tough.
And
just sitting that with them.
And like doctors don't get to do that.
Yeah.
And so they give you their professional opinion based off of this snapshot of this lab, but they don't get to follow people all the way through. Unfortunately, I think that I'm sure that they would actually want to.
Yeah.
Naturally, I would hope that they're curious. I think that they are.
Yeah, it's just the environment that they're in, and they're not set up for that.
Yeah, I mean, that's just not their job, you know?
No, 100%, exactly. And that's why, like, that's where coaching comes in, and that's where they become an ally with your doctor.
Yeah.
Is because we're helping you make sure your foundations are in place, and when things are all gravy and you still have issues, then go to your doctor.
You know what is also about these labs, and I know I've talked about it somewhere, so, like we don't ever gatekeep anything, is that, like, I think we get really freaked out about these labs with testosterone, and we forget that testosterone also needs to spike during ovulation. And so, you know, like, we'll see something like an LH like this, and then we'll see testosterone be like, testosterone is behaving badly. And I'm like, is it?
I'm
pretty positive that, so you know how like
Is it?
all the hormones are typically in different measurements. Like,
Yeah,
but
which
if
is a
you
little
put
bit irritating.
them all in the same, I actually think that progesterone, testosterone are actually higher than estrogen. Because you know how
Progesterone is higher than
yes.
estrogen.
And so
Progesterone
we all
is.
believe that estrogen is the female hormone. Well,
Yeah.
yes, but I think
If you put it like in quantities.
yeah.
What happened?
I'm sorry, just the microphone.
Put the mic by your face.
We can't hear you.
Oh,
Our audio engineer.
I want to
That's what they do.
be the guy.
He is the guy. Keep going.
No, there.
Oh, that's what they do.
No, there's this podcast, and I forget what it is, but I think he was on The Bachelorette or Bachelor or whatever. But he always sits in his seat with his podcast mic, like this, and it's like his, it's like his
Like,
thing.
maybe
this
it's
is
his
how he
safety
does
thing.
all of his.
Oh, like when a rock star has like their way.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I'm like, what's my thing?
Well,
So I'm
obviously
like-
talking away from it.
I know. I'm like trying to figure out my thing
Oh,
with
I love
my
it.
with my mic.
Well, I don't think you don't need to have a thing.
You have a thing.
What would my name a thing?
That's
you have
how-
multiple
that's-
things. Well, first off, you have two things, but like you have
Well,
two
I didn't
mics.
go look. What do I do?
I think you just have a relationship with your microphone.
That's not true. I forget it's there.
But that's the beauty of the
You mean
relationship.
this one or like my home one?
Both. I think you just like you.
We've been working together for a long
She
time.
has a relationship with coffee for sure.
No, I think it is just like it's. I'm not using my words right now, but I think like you're just very comfortable with a microphone.
Oh,
like
yes.
this is your calling,
Oh,
and
yeah.
so you just
I mean,
like
she definitely has
have
a
like
voice for
a
it.
Oh, I see
a
what you're saying.
vibe about it that it's. And I'm.
Oh yeah, I'm always instinctually aware of where it is in relation to my
Exactly, and so
Okay.
She clearly is not because it was like down by.
Yeah, I clearly don't
when we're on
have.
calls, do you see me move it around?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's
So
automatic.
That's why I'm
Okay.
like I'm trying to figure out my thing, my relationship with the microphone.
That's so That's so cute. Yeah, okay.
So you guys will know when you see it.
When it happens. When it happens, okay. Anyways,
Anyways.
these ones are tough. These ones are tough.
These are tough, and
Without
I
a
think
doubt, it's
this
tough.
is where you do need support because I also do believe that there's probably still some habits and behaviors that are potentially in place that need
Absolutely.
to be nipped in
Seems
the bud.
hard to rule out right now.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the blind spots are called blind spots for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Next, do we have another one? Oh, I mean, that was a really good one, though.
that was a good one because we get a lot of those.
We actually do. And so
actually have
Here's
one in my
every week just this morning.
I have one in my inbox waiting.
about a PCOS possibility. Well, so like let's just pause and chat about that real quick too.
Okay.
Because I was talking to we were doing a community call on this. Following a PCOS protocol when you have HA is absolutely digging a bigger hole and is a problem. Why? Like, because you can be put on metformin, and metformin, search I'll pull up the paper,
Oh yeah.
will lower FSH and LH.
Yep.
And when your hormones are already suppressed and you're trying to turn them back on, suppressing them further is not the vibe.
Yeah.
I think that we can put...
We could send those studies to you, Dan.
Yeah, I think
so you
that
can
just
look at-
makes sense.
Okay.
That just makes sense, right? So we just don't want to continue to lower something that's already too low.
Yeah.
You know, when I was diagnosed with PCOS, and bless her, she didn't know what HA was at this time. I spent a good amount of money, but whatever. I was told to like fast 1 day a week to help my blood sugar regulation because my estrogen was so low for so long that I did not have any insulin sensitivity and I couldn't do carbs and I was having massive blood sugar spikes when I was keto. So riddle me that, other than the fact that it's not just carbs, but we can go down that rabbit hole another day. You know what I mean? So fasting, doing HIIT, like that's always like recommended, you know, to do HIIT, to fast, to cut carbs, you know, to eat lots and lots of veggies, you know what I mean? So then you're not getting all that, take metformin, all that will put you in a deeper hole of the HA.
Yeah.
So while I already had no estrogen, I was now just digging into deeper and deeper and deeper. We've had people who've had PCOS, like we've known that they've had PCOS, but they also had HA, and eating starchy carb like a potato is not going to send your PCOS into outer space. Where I don't think that we've actually went to
land
the
on
moon.
the moon.
Okay.
Look,
But-
if we can't go to the moon, you cannot send.
Yeah, you cannot send yourself. Okay, we've actually never
a
landed
potato.
with the potato. The potato didn't do it. You know what I mean? So you eating denser, starchier carbs, even if you had PCOS, like you're not exempt from the need of carbs. And actually, what I think is interesting, and maybe you can like pull it up on your phone, but Jay Philman, your little
Oh yeah,
crush for life, he has.
said that publicly.
He's not listening. It's okay.
I don't know, but let's send it to him. No, I'm
No.
kidding. She's very married.
Maybe he might post that.
Anyways, but
Listen, I like an intelligent man.
I mean, you ain't wrong. Dave is intelligent.
He's very smart.
He's very
He's on
smart.
the spectrum smart.
Go on. Anyways, but he's been actually posting a lot of interesting things about studies that showed what happens when someone with like type 2 diabetes ate a high carb diet, what happened, and it's not what everyone thinks is going to happen.
Yeah.
And so, long story short, when you're doing an HA protocol or something like along our lines, we're adding in things like potatoes, oatmeals, like rice. We're not sitting here adding in, there's nothing wrong with ice cream. There's nothing wrong with cupcakes. There's nothing wrong with cakes. You know what I mean? Like that's not a problem. But if you're worried that you possibly have PCOS and HA, the potato is going to be just fine, and you're going to recover on the potato, and it's not going to impact your
Yeah.
PCOS.
Yeah.
Right? So by doing the HA protocol, you're not doing the damage to that PCOS diagnosis like doing a PCOS diagnosis will do to HA. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? Like because they're not the same, it's not like the same things apply.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And all the clients that we have had confirmed PCOS and HA, we've dealt with the HA first, which then allowed them to start ovulating. And then obviously there is a lifestyle of managing PCOS. We're not denying that.
Yep.
It's that we just can't jump to that first. And like you said, we just can't skip the foundation.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And so I think a lot of people get worried about which one's which. And that's valid because they are dramatically different. However, you're not getting worse by eating dense, nutritious carbs as part of it.
That can be helpful for all.
Anybody. You know what I mean? Like anybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And her like blood glucose was fine. You know what I mean? Which generally like her like A1C was fine. I mean, we would expect, but here's the thing is like when your estrogen is chronically low, yes, you are going to lose insulin sensitivity. But that doesn't mean that you avoid carbs.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Or else everybody so I mean I just have a lot to say.
I do
just have
too,
a lot
and I'm
to say
trying.
about
I
this.
just like don't want to open or go down the.
I mean, like, I think it's
rabbit
worth
hole.
it.
It is
I
certainly.
think it's worth it. I think. Well, so think about this. Let's say that like the way to heal PCOS was to avoid carbs, and that means that keto should be healing everybody's PCOS.
But it's
It
probably just,
should be the magic answer to
but it's
every
not.
single thing. It should eradicate it. But that's not what it but we haven't seen those results with keto. You know what I mean? I'm sure the symptom management has helped for sure. And I'm not saying that it doesn't play a role. I'm also not saying that you don't need to be mindful.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's a balance, and I
I'm
think
not
we
saying,
tend to take certain things to the end or
to the extreme.
yeah. Whenever it's just like try to put it more in scope.
Yeah. I think it's just a vibe.
Yeah, that's why you need to work with a professional with
Especially
the HA lens.
If you have any fear of that anything feels more complex to you, right? Like, oh, but my case feels a little different. We actually totally understand that, and we can help you organize that, like organize your confusion, organize your thoughts, get clear, do research with you, present this to you. And that's what a lot of people, I think they feel like, oh, if I take this on, it's going to create more work for me. I'm going to have to deal with this. Like, I'm going to have to commit even more to this. But but actually what happens is the opposite. You're now outsourcing a lot of the stress, and you're letting someone else take that weight off your shoulders. And it's now their job to monitor your progress, explain this to you, guide
pull
you through
the
it.
information,
Your
pull
job
the
is
studies.
to execute. Like, your job is to execute, and that is actually easier. And then if you are just having doubts in any capacity about anything, PCOS, or just like, is this some other kind of like mystical mystery? You know, that's what we are for, right? Is to make heads of this. And you're in a lot of pain trying to figure this out.
Yeah.
And that's what I know that you want to do it on your own, and we want you to do it on your own, and that's why we have a metric ton of like
An
resources for
insane
you,
amount of
and
resources.
that's why we're here. But yeah, like if this is bothering you so much, I promise you, no one has ever done coaching and then on the other side gone, oh, I could have figured that out on my own, and that was and that was a waste of money, and I didn't get anything out of that, and that wasn't transformative at all. That has never happened. So your option is to
like the only people who've not enjoyed our coaching is the people who
not ready to change it.
Yeah, they're not ready to change, and therefore this experience wasn't what they wanted.
Yeah, and that doesn't happen that much.
No, I mean,
because even those who sign up not ready to change, still like
they're like
are around.
There's a part of them that's just like I know.
And so we're around too. Like, people don't know that, but part of our service and part of why we have 98% success rate is because we have a no quit policy.
Yeah.
We don't quit unless you quit.
Yeah.
Okay? So if you know, but yeah, just like this is one of those things that is just so much easier when you know when you get help like this. So that email that she sent was so lengthy.
It's so heavy because she's doing it all on her own.
Yeah, and so she's articulated it all, and she's gotten to the end, and she's still confused.
Yeah.
Right? So that is how you know you need help with the answers.
Yeah. You know what's really interesting, and I think that this kind of goes along with that, is that just kind of along the lines of like, dude, like, we're here to figure this out with you.
Yeah.
I have a client, and I had messaged Danny her chart, and it was really, really interesting. And we are in the middle of figuring this out. So you guys, maybe like, I'll have an update the next time we podcast. She ovulated. She ovulated like on cycle day 15. Had like a 17-day luteal phase, you know. So she ovulated. Great chart. Her temperature drops, and then it's just spotting.
You sent me this.
Yes. Yeah, I want the update.
It's, well, I mean, like, we're in the middle of it. So
Let's figure this out right here, right now.
I know, right? And so she just has spotting. Not red blood. Only brown.
Okay. Yeah.
So, you know, just doing a little bit of research, chatting with Danny, taking a look at things. In my 5 years, I've never seen anything like this. And this is actually that, and now, like, kind of like going back, this is the second time it's happened. And it's still, so think about it, so now it's back-to-back periods.
Oh, where there's an ovulation appearance.
Where there's an ovulation, there's a drop, there's only spotting, and it's only brown.
Yeah.
Meaning, the presence of not having any red blood is like there's no new lining. And I'm sitting here thinking like, well, where's the lining?
Yeah. What's happening?
Because if you had enough estrogen
to
ovulate.
to ovulate,
right,
you would have had enough estrogen to build a uterine lining.
Yeah.
People ask this all the time.
Yeah.
You can bleed without ovulating, but one doesn't ovulate and not bleed.
One does not ovulate.
Or unless, I mean, if you're pregnant.
Right. And she's not.
Yes, also if you're pregnant.
So to make this even more like crazier, right? And so I'm like, how do you have enough estrogen to have a beautiful cycle?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like a dip, a spike, great progesterone. It's clear. I mean, oh yeah, and she had like it was like an 11-day luteal phase.
Oh.
So here's the thing: a lot of the times it'll be like, oh, it's low progesterone,
Right,
and
right,
that's
right,
why
right.
you're having like a little to no bleed. I'm like, no, her progesterone is
Solid.
is looking actually great. Oh, maybe it's low estrogen. Okay, maybe,
I'm
but she
gonna
had
open this chart and look
but
at it
great.
while
She
you're
had a
talking.
great she had a great ovulation.
Does it
Like
happen
it was
twice?
twice.
Okay.
And so I'm sitting here being like, I have actually in 5 years, in 5+ years, I've not seen a chart like this.
Okay.
So then like, you know, like, and then so I opened up our session and I was like, you were telling me something on our very first call that you intuitively have a fear that it's X, Y, and Z. And she was like, and I said like, I just want to like revisit that because I'm not going to gaslight you right now because you have a great chart.
Yeah.
Everything is looking, but something's like a little bit off. And so she was like, well, she had a miscarriage. And she had to have a procedure where they
DNC, you said?
a DC. I think a DNC is like do not resuscitate, but I did say DNC to you. But it's a DC.
funny.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, just add that to the list of things that I say. Anyways, and so she had to have
No,
a procedure.
D and C.
D and C, not D.
I was like,
and C.
yeah, D and C. No,
Yeah,
D and C.
Yeah, see, I'm glad that we're on the same page. That's what I thought. Anyways,
Danny has an Ashley filter. She's like, I know what you meant.
she does have an Ashley filter. She's like, Ashley, actually.
Do not resuscitate.
But here's the thing that Danny's like.
That's DNR.
But,
All right, stay focused.
Okay. So
I'm surprised that Danny still views me as smart. The things I tell her.
No, your mouth and brain are not connected, but your brain operates at a high level, and your mouth just like you just think too fast.
It's a strong.
You just think too fast. It's okay.
you gotta
It's
slow
like
down.
that's just not even something I would change about you.
Yeah.
It's like absolutely fine.
Anyways.
Okay.
So
I'm
anyways,
invested in this story.
Yeah, I know. So am I. So
Okay.
okay. So then she has this miscarriage, emotional. In the hospital, they tell her that she needs to have another procedure because there are unfortunately like remains still in that
Okay.
need to, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yep.
And so I think my hypothesis, which I think is hers as well, is that there was some scarring done because there is, I think it's called like a basal layer. Like there's a specific layer on the endometrium that is responsible for like the new growth.
Okay.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
That is responsible for the new growth. And so sometimes you can have endometrium damage
Okay.
from certain procedures.
Okay.
When she brought this up to her doctor, so because women are so flippin'
Very intuitive. It's our
They're
superpower.
so intuitive. She did have HA
Okay.
because she wasn't having anything. And then, you know, like, as she, like, was starting to work on things, but then, like, this continued to happen. She went to the doctor and said, I think I have, like, is it possible I have scarring? They said, no, it's just, like, really rare. And I said,
Oh, that doesn't mean it's...
that doesn't mean
happen.
it's not impossible.
This is like our client who broke her back and then wanted to get a DEXA scan and said, you're too young.
Yes.
Okay. Got it.
Yes. Yes. And so I'm putting all this together and I'm like, what I'm seeing is that your chart looks phenomenal. Like your hormone levels are phenomenal.
Okay.
What your blood and what's physically going on is that you don't have any new blood and you don't have an accumulation of a uterine lining.
Okay.
But you are ovulating.
But you are ovulating.
So this egg is just like...
like
Well, I mean-
not having anything to attach to.
But she's trying to get pregnant?
She eventually would like to,
Yeah,
but
but
right
she's
now
not
she's
actively.
just like
Yeah, okay.
I
Okay,
don't
so
even
did
have a
she get an
period.
internal scan? Like, what's
So
happening?
she did. So this is where it's interesting. She did get a scan, And she was like, you just have a thin layer. And I was like,
Yeah, I know that.
well, if you can't build a layer, you would have a thin layer. And so our
But
next...
she is building one.
No,
No,
because
but, like-
because it's all brown. So
No, but her chart is showing the estrogen buildup. Where's it going?
chart-
no,
is
showing
showing-
estrogen, but it's not showing a... Yes, she should have a buildup.
Yeah, but where's it going?
I don't think it's forming because of the
Yeah.
scarring.
So the chart is showing estrogen in a follicle is developing over on the ovary, which is fine.
Okay, got that.
And an egg is maturing and rupturing.
Okay.
But down there in the uterus, there's
There's
no
n-
uterine lining building.
There's no
which is
uterine- because
supposed
there's
to be
damage to
happening
it.
in tandem with that.
it's supposed to be
follicle.
happening with it.
Oh no.
So this is where I'm like, could you imagine her trying to figure this out by herself? And so my job isn't to help her to get her period back because she is actually ovulating. My job is to help her think through this and create a game plan. And so our current game plan for this next cycle is to continue charting. But then I was like, because your doctors didn't believe you the first time, I think we're going to need to collect some evidence so that you can go back and push, meaning that once you ovulate, so like on cycle day, like 4 to 7 days after you ovulate, I think you need to go get a progesterone
Yes,
test
yeah.
to prove to them you are ovulating because they don't trust basal body temperatures.
No, I even had a client who showed her doctor.
Oh, yeah,
she
they
was
don't
so
care.
excited, and they're like, "I don't think you're ovulating," and she was actually pregnant.
Could this be a use for like Anito and stuff?
So I said, girl, you guys are all on it.
Finally.
So then I said,
We got a use for it.
I know, right? So then I said, I said, I want you to get your progesterone tested 4 to 7 days after ovulation. And at that same time, I also want you to get a scan, like a uterine lining scan.
Yeah.
That thing should be thick.
Yeah.
If it's anything less than thick, we know that there's a problem.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you should be starting your period within like a week or so or
because
whatever.
you had the progesterone spike.
Yeah, because you had
everything went through the cycle.
Everything went through the cycle. When they stick that wand up there, that should be a thick uterine lining. If it's not, we have confirmation through the progesterone test that you have ovulated, but no uterine lining. At that same time, so so then we're like, okay, yes, we're going to schedule this, we're going to schedule that. Basically, then to say, I want a more detailed scan for scarring or adhesions because the first scan they said no, we don't see any scarring, we don't see any adhesions, you just have a thin lining. And I said, okay, well, where did you get this scan done? She said at like a fertility clinic. And I said, no shade on them, but if I was to get a scan to look for scarring, I don't know if I would go to a IVF clinic because I don't know if they specialize in that because they never are trying to get to the root on why you're not pregnant. They're just there to help you get pregnant. That's their model. I'm not going to hold it against them. But then like you can't go to them for investigative purposes when that's not what they do. Therefore, they're likely not trained.
They're just trying to
Check things out and make sure that we can
work with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the scope. It just is what it is.
That makes sense.
Who I would get a scan by is that if you were to need surgery, I want their tech to scan me to see if there's any scarring.
Yeah.
Because that's what they specialize in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we're going to get that scan for the uterine lining. We're going to get the progesterone to confirm ovulation because those two things should be happening at the same time. But then I said, hey, in the meantime, just to triple check, why don't you get a Nito or a Mira so that we can also chart your hormone levels and just double, triple check to make sure that that's also matching your BBT chart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
I said, I want you to keep making those changes to your food and to your movement. And at the same time, we're going to check the physical. And we're also going to check like the hormonal like side of it to see on why you're not having a normal bleed. Once we have that information, then we can then have a route to go, or if there's something else that we have to explore.
Yep.
But my whole point is, could you imagine trying to sort that out? Like you might be telling yourself that that's normal for X amount of months just because you are like your context is your context and your friends, where I'm like, hold up, I've been doing this for 5+ years, I've not seen that.
Yeah.
Therefore I do think that we should take action today and start
Because it's going to take a while.
because
as well.
well, one it's going to take a while because it's going to take 30 days because it's cycles, right? Like we're dealing on
Right.
cycles.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I was just like, I'm not going to sit here and gaslight you and tell you that it's so rare that it's not possible.
Right.
And at the same time, I assume you're doing this while we're waiting for all that investigative process. No idea how to fully resolve that problem, right? If she has major scarring, sounds like the only thing you could really do is let the body heal itself, because that's what the body does. So now you have to facilitate that.
Yeah, well, that, and it's just like, you know, she still needed a few adjustments to her food and, you know, and stuff. And, but it's just like, we were able to map out an entire game plan in less than an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine just trying to navigate that by yourself? And yet every medical professional that you saw told you that that's like actually not possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not saying that that's exactly what it is. I'm just saying, so wait, after the procedure this happened? But but before the procedure this didn't happen? And you're telling me that this isn't, you know, and this isn't a blame game.
And
This is just
looking at this and being like, wow, this is actually really unusual.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and here's the thing. Her body's trying to do it because she's getting like brown spotting, but the fact that it's only brown and it's never been a bright red, which lets me know that it's not been anything new. Like there's nothing,
Right.
there's no new tissue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That is super wild. I'm now invested.
We are so invested.
We'll have an update soon.
Yeah. We'll have to come in with the update because at this point the whole team's invested.
Yeah.
The whole team is like on pins and
For
needles, like
real.
waiting. But isn't that the beauty of what we do? Is that like that? Actually, the whole team is invested in your case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the goal with the certification, is that at least like the students, when they go and do this, if they need us, they're able to come to us.
Yeah. Instead of being out there
some
on your
built-in
own.
colleagues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
To be continued.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I am jumping into this episode to let you know that as of the day of this release of this YouTube video, the Restore Your Fertility Group program is open for enrollment. 4 of the 8 max spots are actually filled at the time of recording this, and I'm recording this on Saturday and this goes out on Sunday, so it should be pretty accurate. Go ahead and apply. It's a group program where you get an assigned coach. So one of our 4 team members will be assigned to you, but you'll meet with all of us as a group every week for 10 weeks. It has a really high recovery success rate. It's designed for women wanting to get pregnant, but you don't exclusively have to be looking to get pregnant. There are always people who are just trying to recover in the group. And we take you from HA to recovery, hopefully pregnancy, in that 10-week time frame. And it's okay. If you don't reach your pregnancy goal in 10 weeks, you still have access to your coach. They're assigned to you. They're your coach no matter what. It's just 10 weeks intensive up front to get you that initial goal. Go learn more about it at thehasociety.com/restore-live. Check out the link below. If you're watching this sometime later in the future, click on the link still just to see when the next program is opening. We do it a few times a year. Check it out. All right, a cholesterol and menstrual irregularities question.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Miriam. Hi, Danny. First of all, I found the HA podcast when I was searching for answers.
Go SEO.
I felt that this was too far away from me.
See?
I absolutely love all the helpful and entertaining advice provided by you and your team.
Entertaining?
In addition to hearing recovery stories and experiences by your members, do you have any experience with women who have high cholesterol?
Yes.
Prior to developing menstrual irregularities, I'm still going to say yes. I'm 39 years old and I was happily eating all the things, whole eggs, full fat dairy, beef, etc. Prior to a routine blood panel at my annual PCP visit last September, it showed my LDL was alarmingly high at 168 and total cholesterol was 224. I began seeing a cardiologist who advised me to reduce my saturated fat consumption and focus on a plant-based diet. Within 3 months, it did indeed lower my LDL cholesterol to 86 and total cholesterol to 141. However, in the 6 months since, I have been experiencing menstrual irregularities. I've been having very long cycles, 36 days, followed by very short cycles, 24 days. The longer cycles are dried old blood rather than healthy, robust periods. I have 2 children and no plans for more, so my concern is my own long-term hormonal, bone, and heart health. While some folks with high cholesterol are not sensitive to dietary cholesterol, such as egg yolks, it seems that I am. Part of my dramatic reduction in cholesterol was switching from whole eggs to egg whites, removing red meat, and 4% or 2% dairy to fat-free dairy products. I believe this is what caused my problem for my cycles, more so than experience, but I am at a loss for how to eat for my cycle while taking my high cholesterol into account. Like many women, I have a history of disordered eating and over-exercising in my early 20s, although I thought I'd put all that in the past. I have had HA on and off in the past, but I was able to adjust my food, exercise, and work stress at various points when I realized my hormones were responding unfavorably. I have always been active, preferring strength training to cardio, but I did purposely increase cardio after meeting with the cardiologist. I recognize the menstrual irregularities are a problem, and I'd like to get them back on track. Basically, I'm looking for any advice you have for women with high cholesterol and maintaining a healthy cycle with a low-fat diet. I don't know about.
I enjoy this because this is a little bit different. I have thoughts. First off, I'm not your doctor, and I'm not going to tell you to go against your cardiologist. You know what I mean? So there's that. You know, I was reading something the other day that, like, back in the day, normal cholesterol was considered, like, 220.
300.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, one thing that I would be really interested in is, like, what were our... Yes, I think it was 300. Where... the standards have continued to be lower and lower and lower and lower and lower. And so I would actually love to know the history on why those changes were made. Right? Because I do find that, like, really interesting. I think naturally there's some other things that we need to explore, like your thyroid. Like, there is a really strong connection between your thyroid and your cholesterol. And so I just feel like that's something to explore with, like, a practitioner. I do think that, like, with her making those changes and seeing the change, what was her ending cholesterol? Because I feel like it sounded really low.
Her LDL or her total?
Total.
Within 3 months, it lowered my total to 141.
I think 140 is actually really, it's like too low.
It's too low.
It's too low. Like, actually 140 is too low because mine sits on a too low scale and mine's always at 170. So I think what we're seeing is a massive swing from 220 to 140. And while I'm sure everyone's praising a 140 cholesterol, you actually don't have enough for hormonal health. And so that is actually what we're seeing. I think this answer can be way more simple than what we want it to be. I think that she needs to find the middle ground where not everything can be fat-free. Yeah. I think that you need to slowly bring in some fats to bring up hormonal production to have a cycle because that, I mean, like, this is just logic at this point.
But she saw when she removed a lot of those things that she saw cycle irregularities.
Yes, no.
And she knows that they're why.
Yeah. She knows that's what it is from. She
so
knows
why
it's from
are
overrunning.
we favoring the cholesterol number when your cycle spoke?
Yeah, no.
Because
I
think she's afraid.
Yeah. No. She's afraid.
That.
She has a cardiologist. I mean, like, I think that she's trying to like strike a balance between not having cholesterol in 220 and not having cycle irregularities. And I think that just means that you can't swing to a no fat, low fat diet. I think it just needs to be like
more
moderate.
balanced.
Yeah, I think it's just a more moderate approach, and that's obviously probably going to take some tweaking from her. Meaning, like, I wonder if, for example, like some of the tweaks that I would experiment if this was my blood work and my situation, I would, I don't know, fine, keep the diet the way it is, just cut back on the running and see what happens.
Yeah.
Retest in 3 months. If like your cycle comes back and your cholesterol stays at like 200, call it
Yeah.
a win and move on with your life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you mean like I actually don't think it has to be like our answers are never going to be dogmatic. We're not going to sit here and bash the cardiologist.
No.
We're not going to say her whatever. So just cut back on the running. Keep your diet the way it is. Retest in 3 months and see if it comes. See if your cycle comes back.
Well, with the keeping the diet the same too, I wonder, right, if she had the HA history, that kind of thing. I wonder if the cardiologist said this, now I need you to eat this way, and she went really deep in that
Absolutely.
direction.
Oh no, I know she did.
Like,
I
I
know-
bet you that same cardiologist, if he had the same problem,
Would not have
he
gone
would
as hard.
he would not go as hard as she
She did.
probably went on, like, oh my
Yeah.
God, let me
because
never have
we're
another
so good
gram
at
of
it.
fat.
We're so good at it. It's
Yeah.
second nature.
So maybe she just needs to not be as intense
Yeah.
in order to manage both.
Well, because think about it, she said, I did pick up running after the
Yeah.
cardio. Yeah. what did
Basically,
that
I'm
look like?
still a classic HAR.
Yes.
In every way.
After
Yeah.
the 3 months, if your cycle has still not improved, I would then start bringing in back in moderately some of the fats that you cut out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just, it doesn't have to be, you know what I mean? Just slowly increase it. Maybe like 2 egg yolks.
Yeah.
And egg whites.
Yeah.
Maybe it's 2% Faye yogurt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And just because you had a history of disordered eating and overexercising in your early 20s, she's 39 now, right? So some time has lapsed, doesn't mean you don't still have some.
yeah, it
was
doesn't
still-
mean that. Yeah.
And just, I know you're like, I was happily eating all the things, whole eggs, full fat, dairy, beef, etc. Like, we would want to see a full food log to understand what your version of eating
that
all
means.
of those things
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Because it is very standard for someone with low estrogen production to have high cholesterol. So
It's very.
just because you had that history and you were more intense about it in the past doesn't mean your baseline
Yeah.
for what eating a lot of, like, for what having a normal relationship with food isn't somewhat skewed. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I was going to go, is like, she probably potentially has still some of those disordered habits and compensatory habits that has impacted both her estrogen levels and her thyroid. And so both of those, when they're lower, are connected to higher LDL naturally.
Yeah, and you're like also like for me, like mine is likely linked to a thyroid that I mean we're doing things, but you like I naturally sit at 170.
I have no idea.
You naturally sit at a higher one.
Yep.
It
I think I'm
just-
naturally quite high too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but that does not mean by any means that you're not healthy. And plus, you know what I think is interesting on top of it is that, like, before I made, like, a lot of changes, I would want to look at the thyroid function of it because it does tie into it. But then I would also want to do further testing on, like, the particle size of, like, like, what was it, VLDL? You know what I mean? Like, I would want to do that deeper dive into, like, okay, but
Like
I know
your
that these are
ratio
high.
and your particle size.
Yeah, but what are these particle sizes, and is that an issue?
Yeah, because I think we've
That's
all just
where
been
I kind
trained
of, like-
to see cholesterol as something bad, but it's actually very protective.
It's very protective and it's important. Side note, Nuggy's uncle just had 2 blood clots found in
that's
his
right.
lung. Yeah, and then they found another one in his leg.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, this is just why. Yeah, this is probably why I haven't been able to update anybody because my life has just been like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I was thinking? Going to Turkey and doing like that full body workup. I think again before I cut out all these foods, I'd be like, you know what? Just scan me for blood clots. Scan me for like blood clots and plaque because like I just right.
Talking about not going to extremes.
Look here. Yes. But you know,
No, I hear
but,
you.
But you're like, I don't know. So like instead of doing like a mammogram, like I did like one of those like ultrasounds where they like scan like all the breast tissue and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just feel like I want to, and again, I'm not your doctor. Listen to your cardiologist. I just feel like before I start taking beef out, am I at risk for a blood clot? Am I at risk for a plaque? Or is my cholesterol just naturally high and I'm actually fine?
Yeah.
Well, my ratios have always been fine, so
Yeah,
I've never had a
same.
Yeah.
doctor be concerned.
Yeah, I've never.
Yeah.
And that's, I don't think that, Miriam's is like, no, everyone's concerned. But
Yeah.
most people who email in or do a call with us about cholesterol, your ratios are totally normal.
Yeah, and so like that's what I'm saying is that like let's pull back on the exercise. Mm-hmm. See where your cycle comes back. And mind you, I'm not telling her to fix her food. I'm just saying let's pull back on the exercise a little bit. See if your cycle comes back. If you still need help, then let with your cycle, then add in a little bit of fat because, like you said, I bet you went to the extreme.
Yeah.
I know you did because we're really good at it. It's our superpower.
You're like, an instruction and a rule and a really specific black and white thing to
veggies.
do?
You want me to veggie harder?
You want me to eat low fat things and like egg? Oh no, like
Oh no.
Oh no!
oh no, I wonder if I'll lose weight. Could happen.
It could happen for my heart. Dude, like, I would be like that. I'd be like, oh, no.
Dang.
Do you remember?
Although, like, I couldn't even bring myself to eat green beans the other day. In my factor meal.
Yeah, I knew that were factor. The factor meal green beans are
They're
Not
hot
amazing.
garbage. They need to be
Yeah.
cooked a little bit longer. They need, like, a little bit more steam.
Yeah. That feels
That was
good.
fun.
Yeah, that was really
Did we
fun.
just do 2 questions?
Yes.
Yeah, that were very similar. I think they were. It was good.
Good.
Okay.
All right.
Cut!